Michael, good afternoon. Can I ask first of all about the announcement today that the crest is going to change? Why?
Yeah, I think, well, I know, obviously it's for the 150th anniversary, and I think it's quite exciting, to be honest. I think for the supporters as well, and I know the club are really keen to get the supporters' opinion, to work with the supporters as well. It's a symbolic thing, you know. It's an important part of the club, and it needs to be right. So, yeah, it's something different. Obviously, it's not something you change very often, so it needs to be right, and I think everyone can work together to get the best one.
But there are dangers messing with an icon like that, so what's the club going to do to make sure that the fans are on board?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm not going to have an input on it because my design skills aren't so good, but I think, listen, it's got to be right. Of course it's got to be right, so the club will have good ideas, work with the right people, work more importantly with the supporters, because it's important that it's about the badge, it's about the club, and everyone needs to be happy with it. So I think it's a good opportunity to improve it for what if it needs to be improved, but it's a symbolic kind of 150 is a hell of a long time, and it needs celebrated.
Listen, there are much more pressing issues. I know you know that. Southampton, of course, and a weekend of football, which is just great for the fans, Easter weekend. What's it like as a manager, those two games more or less on top of each other, and at this stage it feels like a weekend where you must win both games?
Yeah, honestly, now it's Friday, Monday is normal, really. It's no big deal. I think the days we used to play Saturday, Monday, they were a little bit challenging. But Friday and Monday is what we used to, you know. Saturday, Tuesday, same time frame, so it doesn't really make any difference to us in terms of timing or preparation for games or recovery, anything like that. We understand that the supporters, you know, holiday time and that time of year, and it, having two games over that period can kind of set the tone, flip emotions, put things in your favour. You know, we've had 4 games quite quickly just before there where we've had some good results, and that's really been positive. Something that we're definitely trying to build on.
Southampton, obviously, if their automatic promotion hopes are going to be realised, really will feel that they must win this game. You too, if you're going to make the playoffs, for that reason, it looks like it could be a very, very exciting game.
Yeah, it may be. Sometimes it's difficult to predict. They're a good team, you know. They make you work for it. They look after the ball a lot. They rotate the workspace as well, and then you've got to be really smart with how you play against them. But yeah, they're a good team. Attacking threats, dangerous. Obviously, scored a lot of goals, and they're up right near the top of the league with a lot to play for. So yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it, when you start getting to these stages where things can be won and lost quite quickly. So we've got our own things going on, you know, and we're looking forward to the game for our own reasons.
I've used the term must win a couple of times. You haven't. Is there a reason? Are the next 6 games must win, or do you not quite see it like that?
When I say must win, we try and win every single game, so it's not going to change how we approach the game. We go into games trying to win. We plan to win. We don't think about anything else before the game, so it doesn't change that. You understand that this situation where it is, the timing of the year and where we are in the league and all that, but it in terms of trying to get the result, the preparation is the same. That's the only way we know how to go about it.
Sheffield Wednesday on Monday, again a bumper crowd will be expected for that game, of course, a great sort of not quite local derby, northern derby if you like. Wednesday, an interesting team because still in the relegation mix, but their form has improved so much. So what can we expect from them as opponents?
Yeah, I think they have certainly had a good run of results. I know they had a tough day at Ipswich, but you know, they've got everything to play for and right in the thick of it, and give themselves a really good chance. At one stage it looked like it was obviously a smaller chance, but they've put themselves right in there, so credit to them for that. Really well coached actually, and difficult to play against, so yeah, we'll prepare for that. Obviously, as I've got eyes on it, the coaches have, the players haven't as yet, you know, they're all eyes on Friday, so we'll get the right balance moving into Monday after that.
Michael, thanks very much. Good luck.
Obviously, you've had the extended break, Michael. I know you give the players who weren't on national duty a bit of time off, but once they came back, how's it been around the place? What's training been like?
Yeah, training's good. We trained 3 days last week. Came back in Monday this week, so the boys had a bit of time off. Yeah, good. Managed to have some of the younger players up with us training as well, which has been good for them to kind of come up and have the experience and feel what it's like to train with the first team, and for us to work with them. And I think it's really important that we do that. So yeah, it's been enjoyable, and the boys that have been here have worked well and prepared for the next set of games, really.
Yeah, and on the injury front, how was Marcus after the Blackburn game?
Yeah, obviously he come off, so and he missed going away. So yeah, it's another one at the moment that we're kind of assessing and waiting and seeing where he's been scanned and seeing different people. So we'll see how bad it looks.
Yeah, Riley as well. Obviously got hurt while away on international duty. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's not been back in the country long, Riley. So again, it's a little bit on assessing it. Scanning him, see where he is, and seeing if he can get back involved.
Yeah, there was a couple of players you were hoping might get involved in training during the break. Was that the case in the end, or?
Kind of, yeah. Not to the point where it's anyone's really particularly ready to come back just yet, but hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, and you mentioned now obviously Riley's not been back in the country long, and there's a few other boys who were away. Obviously the difference with this international break to others is you play on the Friday rather than the Saturday, and it's a bit of a long trek down to Southampton as well for you. So does that make it difficult for those international boys kind of coming back in and reintegrating, etc.?
It's obviously the day that day can make a difference. I know Riley wasn't away, but Sammy and Tom being away the furthest really to get back for Fridays is a long way, and it does make things a little bit more challenging. But the boys mostly are aware of experienced at it, they're used to it. So yeah, it's just something you deal with and get on with really, and we're still prepared for the game, and we've had enough boys who have been in and around it that largely they're prepared anyway. So you just got to be a little bit kind of adapt, be a little bit flexible in terms of the planning and preparation for the game that you might normally be, because boys are coming back at different times, but that's pretty normal when it's international week anyway.
Yeah, and obviously the break will have no doubt given you a little bit of time to kind of reflect, a little take stock. There's 8 games to go, 7 points off that top 6. I mean, from where you sit right now, how do you feel about what's left to come this season?
Just got to try and win games, really. Got to try and win games and then see where that is. I think from week to week or game to game, as I've said it to you many times, it can look so different. In a 4-game period there, we picked up quite a few points and it looks a little bit different. Yeah, there's still a bit of work to do to get into the playoffs and hope to get into the playoffs, but all we can do is try and win games, and try and we've got some tough games, try and put a run together again and build on what we've got, and then see. Who knows, it might be too much to ask. We might pull it off at this stage. No one knows. So we can control what we can and try and win the games, try and play well, and then see what happens after that.
Yeah, after that Blackburn game, you said it'd be a case of almost letting loose for these final 8 games. Is that still kind of how you feel after a bit of more time for reflection?
Yeah, I mean, I said it. I didn't mean in terms of to the extreme, but I think. I'm always on at the boys about expressing themselves in any way and believing in themselves and playing with that freedom from within themselves to try things and don't hold back. So just because it's the end of the season doesn't mean you tighten up or try anything else. If anything, it's all to play for. Go and be the best you can be. So hopefully the boys will be able to do that.
Cheers, Michael.
Just one more jumping on the back of that. I guess you are outsiders now when you look at the table. Can that play in your favour in that there's kind of no pressure? There's obviously pressure, but you know what I mean, compared to what maybe you were this time last season. You almost have got nothing to lose.
You've always got something to lose. There's always something to lose, whether it's pride, whether it's points, places, a game, whatever it is. There's always that. Someone says there's nothing to lose. There's always something to lose. Don't want to lose a game of football, but I understand what you're saying when you. Listen, I'd much rather be up the league. I'd much rather be in towards the top of the league, higher up the league than we are. but we are where we are, and I think we've just got to make the most of it. And exactly what I said, you know, we've got to finish the season strong. We want to finish the season strong. We've managed to build up a little bit of momentum before international break, and we want to build on that really. And if that takes us towards the playoffs, then fantastic. And as the games go, then we'll try and make the most of that. And if it doesn't quite happen for whatever reason, then we want to finish the season strong going into the summer and building on that for next season.
Just to pick up on a couple of the injured ones, Riley, is it the same? Is it the plantar fascia issue again? Is it the injury?
It's not exactly the same issue, no.
Right.
No.
And Marcus, I presume he's unavailable. He's not. He's
Yeah,
unavailable.
it was he felt the tightness in his hamstring, Marcus. So we're just giving him as much time as we can, really.
When you go back to that Southampton game at the start of the season, obviously it came after the difficult start, and I think it was the game after the Sheffield Wednesday game, which was a tough first half. How important was that win when you look back? And can this game, if you were to win on Friday, act as a springboard like that first game did earlier this season?
At the time, yeah, it was a big one. I think I remember Southampton. They'd had a few sticky results going into the game as well, and I remember saying at the time that I've got no doubt at all that they'd be right up there because of the strength of the squad they've got, the quality of players they've got, and that's kind of shown now that they're right up there challenging for it. And on the day it was a good result. We had to work for it. The boys played really well. Yeah, I think you're always trying to use it. You know, you're always trying to put a positive approach on things, and the fact we have had a good spell, and we feel there's a lot more to come from us anyway. Whether we're playing Southampton next, Sheffield Wednesday next, or whoever, I think it's about right. Come on, what can we do to be better, really? And it'll be a fantastic place if we can go and get a result. We know it'll be tough, it'll be a challenge, but if we could get a good result and build on that, then it'll give us a real boost, yeah.
Because I know in those early weeks of the season, when you were talking about how you didn't doubt the boys and you knew the turnaround, but like you said at the time, kind of nothing builds belief like wins, does it, like results, and you clearly saw how much of it impacted it had then, and recently in recent weeks as well, when you managed to string the wins together.
Yeah, it's results is what get you places in the end, and you can't always get the perfect result. You can't always have a spell where it's that, and there's obviously a certain time when you can get away with it, and then it needs to kick into gear. And I think probably we haven't been consistent enough through the season, and that's where we are for all different reasons. That's kind of where we are in the league at the moment. But yeah, it's you just got to draw on them experiences over this season, what's helped you, and learn from it. We've got a lot of young players who are developing as well, and they'll be better for it.
And I know I touched on this earlier this season, but you've got a good record against the teams that are in the top 5 or 6. Not so good against the teams that are in the bottom 6 or 7. Why do you think that has been this season?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the boys have adapted really well to the different type of games, really, different challenges. The Chelsea game we played well, Aston Villa game we played well in, different style of games in terms of to what we've, but against good teams and teams that maybe at certain points you feel could be better than us at certain points of the season. But I don't know, I think the boys are showing we're capable on any given day of playing against anybody and giving a good account of ourselves and beating a lot of teams. So it's putting it together. I just said, well, consistency, and I said it to you loads about consistency is the key. It's the magic ingredient if you want to be successful, and that's probably the bit that we need to find to take the next step.
Can I just quickly ask, you've had 3 consecutive clean sheets in the last 3 games as well. I mean, how important has that been for you, and how happy have you been to see that kind of grow?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I think it's something to build on. It's something we haven't had enough of. We found them in different ways. We've obviously tweaked the system a little bit. We tweaked the system last time out against Blackburn, obviously when Marcus went off, and he looked just as and solid and good when we changed it than we had in the previous game. So there's a lot to build on with that. I think there's a lot of room for improvement both ways, really, but it gives us the confidence that something to build on, and if you can do that and need one goal to win a game, then we'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, after that Stoke game, when you were kind of like looking for a remedy, if you like, was the defence and keeping clean sheets a particular focus at that time?
Not particularly, not just that. I think it's a massive element to a game, you know, and it's not just about how many goals you can score. There's definitely the element of the focus, and we haven't over exaggerated that over the last 4 games to what we have for the rest of the season. But I think we've found a bit of a formula. The boys have got an understanding, and you know, it's kind of come together. We need to keep getting better at that.